Have you ever wondered what people did thousands of years ago when there were no phones, no television, no video games, and not even books for most people? Today, if we're bored, we can scroll through social media, watch YouTube, or play games within seconds. But imagine living in ancient Egypt, Rome, or China. The sun sets, your work is done, and there's absolutely no electricity, no screens, no music streaming, no notifications. Would life be unbearably boring? Surprisingly, not at all. Ancient people found countless ways to entertain themselves, and some of them might be more enjoyable than what we do today. Let's travel back in time and discover how our ancestors spent their free time. The first thing to understand is that ancient people actually had less free time than many of us. Daily life revolved around survival. Farmers worked from sunrise until sunset. Hunters searched for food. Craftsmen spent long hours creating tools, pottery, or clothing. Every task required physical effort because machines didn't exist. But even after a hard day's work, humans still wanted to laugh, compete, relax, and socialize, just like us. One of the oldest forms of entertainment was storytelling. Long before writing became common, stories were everything. Around campfires, families gathered while the oldest members of the community told tales about heroes, monsters, gods, and mysterious creatures. These stories weren't just for fun, they taught lessons, explained nature, and preserved history. Without books, storytelling was the only way knowledge survived from one generation to the next. Imagine hearing the story of the Trojan War or the adventures of Gilgamesh for the very first time, with someone dramatically acting out every scene under the stars. It must have felt like watching the greatest movie ever made. Music was another huge part of ancient life. Nearly every civilization created instruments. People played flutes carved from bone, drums made from animal skin, wooden harps, and simple string instruments. Music wasn't reserved for concerts, it was everywhere. Birthdays, weddings, harvest festivals, religious ceremonies, and even military marches included music. People danced together for hours, creating memories long before anyone could record them. Games were also incredibly popular. In ancient Egypt, one of the world's oldest board games was called Senet. Nobody knows every rule today. But archaeologists have found beautifully decorated game boards inside tombs, including those of pharaohs. Many Egyptians believed the game represented the journey to the afterlife. In Mesopotamia, people played the royal game of over 4,500 years ago. Ancient Romans loved dice games so much that some emperors had to ban gambling because it became addictive. Even children had toys. They played with dolls made from wood and clay, spinning tops, toy animals, hoops, marbles, and miniature chariots. In ancient Greece, children often played games that looked surprisingly similar to tag, hide and seek, and ball games we still enjoy today. Some things really never change. Sports became another major source of entertainment. The ancient Olympic Games began nearly 2,800 years ago in Greece. Thousands of people traveled long distances just to watch athletes compete. Running, wrestling, boxing, chariot racing, discus throwing, and javelin competitions attracted enormous crowds. Winning wasn't just about receiving a prize, champions became celebrities. Entire cities honored them with statues and lifelong rewards. Meanwhile, ancient Rome took entertainment to another level. Massive arenas like the Colosseum could hold over 50,000 spectators. People watched gladiator battles, staged naval battles where arenas were flooded with water, animal shows, theatrical performances, and dramatic public events. For Romans, these spectacles were as exciting as today's World Cup or Super Bowl. Not all entertainment involved giant crowds. Many people simply enjoyed spending time with friends. Public baths in Rome weren't just places to wash, they were social centers. People discussed politics, business, philosophy, and everyday gossip while relaxing together. You could spend hours there without feeling bored. In ancient Greece, wealthy citizens attended symposiums. These gatherings combined food, music, conversation, poetry, and debates. Guests discussed questions that people still ask today. What is happiness? What makes someone a good person? What happens after death? Some of history's greatest ideas were born during conversations like these. Religion also shaped much of people's free time. Festivals honoring gods often lasted several days. Entire cities celebrated with music, dancing, athletic competitions, sacrifices, feasts, and colorful processions. For many people, these festivals were the highlight of the entire year. Imagine waiting months for one enormous celebration where everyone you knew came together. Travel itself could also become entertainment. Although journeys were slow and dangerous, merchants, pilgrims, and explorers experienced new cultures, foods, and traditions. Every trip became an adventure. Even marketplaces were exciting places to visit. Markets weren't only for shopping. Street performers entertained crowds with magic tricks, juggling, trained animals, acrobatics, musicians, comedians, and storytellers. Children ran between stalls while adults bargained over spices, jewelry, fabrics, and food. The atmosphere was loud, colorful, and full of life. Nighttime looked completely different from today. Without electric lights, cities became dark shortly after sunset. Families gathered around oil lamps or fireplaces. Some continued weaving baskets, repairing clothing, carving wood, or preparing food while talking about their day. Others simply looked at the stars. Ancient civilizations knew the night sky incredibly well. They recognized constellations, tracked the movements of planets, and used the stars to navigate across deserts and oceans. Many myths were inspired simply by people staring into the night sky. Education also became a form of entertainment for many scholars. In libraries like the famous Library of Alexandria, thinkers spent years reading, debating, experimenting, and discovering new ideas. For them, learning itself was exciting. One of the biggest differences between ancient life and modern life wasn't the lack of technology, it was the strength of community. Today, many people spend hours alone staring at screens. Ancient people rarely experienced life that way. Entertainment was usually shared. Families worked together, neighbors celebrated together, children played outside together. Stories were told face to face instead of through headphones. Even simple moments felt meaningful because they were experienced with other people. Of course, life wasn't perfect. There were wars, diseases, famine, and countless hardships. But despite all of that, people still found reasons to laugh, sing, compete, dance, tell stories, and enjoy each other's company. Maybe that's the greatest lesson history can teach us. Humans don't actually need endless technology to be entertained. We've been creating fun for thousands of years using nothing more than imagination, friendship, music, and stories. So the next time your internet goes down or your phone battery dies, remember this. For almost all of human history, people lived without any of those things, and somehow they still managed to have an incredible time. If you enjoyed this journey into the ancient world, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments, which ancient pastime would you want to try the most?